Hi folks, I'm Sean Crabtree.
And I'm Cameron Bailey.
Welcome into Growth Profits.
Coming to you live each week.
We don't want to change the way you do business.
We want to change the way you're thinking about your business.
We want you to have better results, happier clients, and make more money.
Let's get it started.
And welcome into Dental Profits, where we come to you live 1 hour each week just outside of Nashville, talking about the business of your business. It's all about happier clients, better results, making more money, and enjoying the ride. I'm so happy to have you with us today, and I'm excited about the guest. Very, very few times am I able to have somebody as a guest on the show who is as talented and creative and just as entrepreneurial as this gentleman that I'm about to introduce you to. As I said, this is all about happier clients, better results, making more money, and enjoying the ride. If you've listened to this channel or any of our videos, you know that one of the biggest challenges that we talk about on a regular basis is everybody thinks they know that they need more new patients, right? Everybody is after new patients. We spend a lot of time talking about the fact that you may not necessarily need more new patients. If you're seeing 100 patients a month and you're doing $1 million, you probably have a lot of opportunity. We spend a lot of time on that. I want to go a different direction today, and that is why I am so happy to have my guest, Kevin Barnett with Hi5 Practice. These guys, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it, but I do, as I introduce you, Kevin, I want the viewers and the listeners to know that I've been in dentistry for a little over 20 years, and I don't think I've ever met anybody as creative. I don't think I've ever met anybody as entrepreneurial. I don't think I've ever met anybody that has as much get up and go get it as you and your team. It's not just you. It's the team of people that you have at Hi5 Practice. And the kind of results that you're able to deliver is exactly what I want the listeners and the viewers to understand. So, Kevin Barnett, Hi5 Practice, welcome, my friend. I'm so glad to see you.
Man, Sean, it is a pleasure. It is always a pleasure. I love
before you get started, listen, I know the people are looking and they're going, Sean, why does your hair not look as luscious and as long as your friend Kevin Barnett? And I'll be honest with you, I have no answer. I have no answer for that other than you're the man and I'm not. I don't know what else.
Dude, here, you want me to take it off? You want me to take it off?
You pull it right off.
I don't want to be distracting on here, right? I want to help these dentists learn a little more about better, stronger retention. Yeah, this is distracting. I can pull it back or whatever you need.
Kevin, tell us, you and I have had many conversations over the years about just this very thing. New patients, how to get out there. And we come at it from different angles. You and I work very well together because of how we do that. But there's if I'm listening to this and I am a general dentist, explain to me, if I've never heard of you before, who is Hi5 Practice? Assuming that they weren't at the ADA and didn't want to stand in line with all the other millions of people to try to get to you at your booth. Explain to us, who is Hi5 Practice? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so Hi5 Practice, we took a different approach. We're patient retention marketing. You brought it up earlier. It was a great start to it, is that everybody thinks they need new patients. What we realized really, well, I say really fast, it took us several years to figure it out, is that what other industry can you walk into and they have thousands of people that they can reach out to at any given time and get them to do what they ask them to do? You know, I mean, people would dream of it.
It's a retail dream, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, a business owner's dream. And, you know, and what happens is that a lot of these practices, they go and they say, oh, I need new patients. And they spend thousands and thousands and thousands on, you know, direct mail, pay-per-click, billboards, I mean, magazines, sponsoring. And I'm not saying that those are not bad tactics, but there's a time and a place for everything. And one thing that what we always look at, and the only thing that we do, is market from the inside out. I mean, we truly believe that if you can have a killer process of onboarding your clients, keeping your patients happy, and keeping them coming back, then they're going to write you positive online reviews. They're going to refer your friends, which goes in the bucket of new patients. But you know what all that comes down to is just proper communication. You know, everybody thinks that it's funny. Everybody's like, "Oh man, I don't know why they don't come back, or they miss their appointment. They don't want to go to the dentist." Nobody wants to go to the dentist. You know?
Are you serious?
I mean, I know it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. You know, I mean, because as a patient, your fear is, well, what is your pain? Your fear is that, hey, I'm going to go, if I was going to get cleaning and now I need $1,000 crown, or, you know, this, or, you know, my cavity, I got 3 cavities. How'd that happen? Well, it's from the junk food. It was from not going to the dentist for years. You know, a lot of those things. And so what we like to sell is through education. You know, we're always talking about preventative. Come in and do your every 6 months, and what's going to happen? You're not going to have to see so many emergencies with the doctor by just coming in for preventative. And so what
you guys take an inside out kind of approach.
Yeah.
So it's a retention. You guys, Kevin, so Hi5 is you would describe it as a creative agency.
Yeah, that's how we started.
When I first met, it was. I mean, dentistry is a small world. It's a small world all over. But you and I first met. I had no idea that you're right here in my backyard in Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And for the kind of talent that you guys bring to the table, you've been in dentistry for how many years?
So it'll be 5 years this year. My longest running client's 5 years, still with us. So
why dentistry?
All right, selfishly. When we started the company 7 years ago, we had, I tell this story all the time, you know, we had restaurants, moving companies, audio, I think a salon at one time, you know, all these different marketing strategies. As a creative agency, you have to solve all these problems. We got our first dental client 5 years ago, and it was, ironically, it was a specialist. And so I know it was a completely different marketing approach with them, you know, the 97%, you know, referral based by the other doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did a really great job with them, you know, just trying to figure it out. It's what we were doing. Literally never worked with another one. But
was it an orthodontist, or what was it?
Endodontist.
Endo.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And, you know, got some great reviews for them, just kind of, you know, some of the basics, and started doing some stronger communication to their practices. And so what happens is their practices started calling me and started saying, hey, can you do what you did there? And then, of course, we would. And it's a different marketing approach. And about 2-3 years into it, you know, we were like, man, there's got to be a better way to market for these practices instead of trying to do the exact same thing that everybody else is doing. And that was kind of the joke I said earlier, is like, who would not love to be able to just tap into a database? I mean, they've already walked through the practice's door once in most cases, if they're labeled a patient. And so we said, why don't we just kind of change gears with this and come up with marketing approaches for the patient and make that patient stay, you know, lifelong patient, and then start getting their friends to come in, write online reviews, those type of things. And it just grew from there, you know. And at about 2 years ago, I decided, and people thought I was crazy, is to actually shut every creative account out. So we ended all those contracts, and people were like, you're only going to work with dentists? And I was like, they're the best clients. They literally are. They're the greatest clients.
I don't disagree.
I was very passionate about it. You know?
Yep. I can tell you're passionate about it. And so before you get to the next part of the story, because I know the next part of the story, and because I know who you are, and I think it's important that we tell some of the next pieces. But I mean, when you do, I have dealt with many, many marketing companies. I've never met anybody that does what you guys do at the level at which that you guys do it and deliver the results that you guys deliver. What's the thing? What's the basis? What's the secret sauce? You got to tell it, man. What's the thing?
Well, man, hold on. I got to get it out of the safe. Hold on. Put it out there.
All kidding aside, man. I mean, that part's not a secret, right? It's
you know what?
Why is video important? I mean, the stuff that you guys do is so far beyond anybody that I've met in dentistry.
You know what it's funny. You know, we're a small company. I just created out of an idea. And so we would have team meetings with the team, and
With the
I
dental
would
team.
tell everybody their only job, everybody's got job titles, account managers, reputation managers, all that thing. But really your only job is to do what you say you're going to do. That's your only job. At the end of the day, if you said you were going to do X, Y, Z, just do that. And if you do that, then why would your clients ever leave you? I mean, the only reason we get new clients is because they've been burned in the past and they've tried everything. And then they come on and they're like, oh my God, you guys are really great. Oh man, you ask a lot of questions on the front end. Like, we truly have to figure out what the problem is and can't just start throwing things out there. In reality, a lot of dentists, they all have the same, issues, but we're still learning. I mean, I think that's what it is. We literally are so eager to learn with this ever changing landscape. So yeah, I mean, the key, if I was ever to be asked like I am today, it is just do what you say you're going to do. And if you just do that, then your problems are going to be lessened quite a bit. So.
When it comes to retention, though, I mean, you're a big believer in one of the platforms is video.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I'm okay, so because if I'm a dentist, I'm going, okay, when it comes to retention, when it comes to attraction of new patients, all these things, I think of SEO.
Mm-hmm.
I think of and all that entails, organic, pay-per-click. I think about my website.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, and then I think of old-fashioned stuff, asking for referrals, word of mouth. I mean, dentists are always trying to find a way to attract new patients. A lot of times they're not doing a good job of holding on to the patients that are in their house. They spend a lot of time trying to go milk cows in somebody else's barn, and they got a whole barn full that they're not making use of, right?
Yeah.
What's the basis for what you guys do? I know that, but I want the listeners to hear this.
Consistency. So, one of the it's funny when I think about the FAQs that people ask me all the time, well, we already have a referral program. Okay, well, I mean, when you say you have a program, how many times are your employees asking for referrals? Oh, all the time. Well, how many referrals are you getting? 4.
Right.
And we're going, we've got clients getting 30, 40, 50 referrals because you're seeing, 500, 600 patients a month, when you could just be asking on a consistent level. So keeping those accountable, that is a big deal. And so even on the review side, people get really gung-ho in the first couple of months and they're like, oh my God, we have 30 reviews.
Exactly.
And
then it goes away because they don't have a systematic approach.
Right.
What about video? What's special about video?
So what we learned about video, well, when I think about video and then dentistry though, I think one of the biggest things is that we found out with a client. One time a client was doing implants and they were like, oh, we do this, because most dentists do 1,000 things. I mean, you go to the website, there's like 5,000 drop boxes and that we do this, nobody's looking at that. But I said, okay, what are the things that you're doing really, really well? Let's kind of focus on that. And I had a client tell me, said, we had a patient come in with new implants and they do implants. And I'm like, whose fault is that? Is that the patient's fault? Because you're mad at the patient, but it's really your fault because you never educated them. You probably never brought it up. They got there, they checked in, they went in the chair, you looked at them real quick, never maybe, did a little preliminary questionnaires on some of that stuff.
We lost that one on the intake call. We didn't ask the proper questions. Yeah.
Right. And so, so they come in like, oh, I've been coming. And we started thinking about why are we not educating these people? And yes, we can send a picture and then we can send this really, really long, 14 paragraph email to them or put it on the website or whatever that they're never going to read or see. Or we could send them a really engaging video that's probably under a minute. Average person wants to stay on a video about 37 seconds. And now we can educate them on some of the benefits, not just like, hey, bye, but it's like, hey, educate them. Why would anybody want an implant? That's like the scariest word to me. It's always funny we talk about it. It's like doctors want to do implants, but yet when you repeat it back to, just a common person, they're like, implant, oh my God, am I going to be out of work for a week? Like, no, you'll be back at work the next day. Education. So video is really, really positioned, in the next 5 years. They said all internet consumption is going to be video based of some sort.
I read a stat the other day that said, and this, but for some of our listeners, there are several YouTube personalities that have more subscribers than CNN has an audience. No, that's true. And in a primetime scenario. Now, I mean, CNN, I think, has one of the lower in terms of, cable news viewership, but that's really true. And the stats are saying that TV is going away. It's all going to video based. It's all going to video. You said 1 minute video. People's attention span is generally around 37 seconds.
37 seconds.
But so I see value in this, and I've seen your work, and I know how well it works. The value is, and I don't want to steal your thunder here, but the value of this is there's a patient out there who gets a contact from the dental office, and it's a video.
Yeah.
The natural thing is to go, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And you go into it. Whereas if it's a verbal sort of contact, whatever, it's just, it's just, you go right by it. But there's a ton of value in that. Now, on the other side, because people listen to this and going, yeah, that makes total sense. But dude, you're telling me I got to have a camera crew out to my office, man. I got to sit there just like you and I right now. I got 2 cameras here. I got lights all over me. And for a lot of people, man, that is intimidating. What say you?
What's the what?
I mean, that's intimidating if I'm listening to this and I'm going, yeah, 1 minute video, but it might take me forever to cut that. I don't know anything about all this. I got to have a camera crew. I got to get Kevin to have all these people come out to my place. I got to spend all this time. And then I got to be intimidated by all of this apparatus and these people around me who are standing here watching me on camera and all that. I mean, a lot of people are going, I don't know if that's where I want to be, man.
They say,
what's the answer?
I just want to do dentistry. Well, the best part about video is you do it one time. You do it and you've got a shelf life of a year or 2 years, or depending on how you do it. There's also on video, it's funny is that, because I always say it's funny doing this podcast because I think about all the questions that I've ever been asked. People call us and they're like, hey, I think I want to do an about video. And I'm like, all right, about video sounds great. What else are you going to do? Oh, no, that's all we want to do. I was like, so you're going to want to have one bullet in your gun that you're going to shoot out and people are going to watch it, love it, share it one time. And then what are you going to do next month? And so what we want to do is, when I tell people that we have a list of the top 50 videos and people are like 50 videos, I'm like, yeah, we want to shoot 8 to 20 videos on a set. And they're like, how do you shoot 8 to 20 videos? Well, when you know the topics that everybody wants to know, a lot of, again, dentists want to talk about what dentists want to talk about, but what we want to talk about is what patients want to talk about.
Right.
I mean, it's so funny to me. And you have to find a happy medium there. But at the end of the day, it's like, why are you not educating the patient? Google, it's the coolest thing ever. Google's listings now, they have the reviews and everything else. They just rolled out this little, it's been out for a while, but it's got a Q&A answers. You can literally go on the Google listings page and ask a question and then they'll go in and answer, and then it stays there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why did they do that? Because people Google things all the time.
All
like
the
they
time.
want to know the answer to something.
Sure.
So imagine if you were the doctor. I mean, granted, everybody's got implants on their website. They got a page for it. They got an image, usually of something.
Right.
It's an implant, which looks really scary, or just the generic smiling face. And then you've got this crazy content below it, right? But imagine if somebody Googled something like that or looked it up on Facebook or however, and you had a little 1 minute video that described what the benefits of an implant was, or one day crown, like the miracle of 1 day crowns. I mean, wow. I remember the old ways of doing it. You come in, you get the impression, you come back, or 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, whatever it is, you take off work, your boss is mad. Now they got 1 day dentistry. You pop in, hour later, you walk out of there and never have to come back. It's very profitable for the practices. So, but imagine being able to explain that in 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and people go, I didn't know that my doctor did that. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about.
So everything you're saying, if I'm listening to this and I'm a dentist, or I'm on a dental team, I'm going, man, I totally see all of that. I understand everything's going video. I see the value in all of that. But man, do I really want to hire? Do I really want to have, 6 people come in with all this equipment and these lights and all this kind of stuff. That can be intimidating.
Well, I was going to say, you
guys have an
might
answer
feel like
for
a
that.
rock star, right? But
you have an answer for that, right?
But I do. Yeah, I do. And it's the thing is that we figured out really, really fast is that, we've shot video. Oh my gosh, I did my first video before I even created Hi5. And it was one of my first clients with Hi5 in Austin. We did video, and I learned the power of video back then. This was 7 years ago. So, what we learned with dentistry, though, you have to shut down a shop. The way this is their old way of doing it, and we still could. It doesn't make sense. 8-hour days. You're shutting literally. You're paying staff all day long. You're inviting guests in to be interviewed. What's awesome for us is that we've shot thousands of videos, right? We know the right ways to do things, the wrong ways to do things. Ooh, probably shouldn't have scheduled it this way, right? Or here's the hot topics that we're talking about. Most people don't know any of that. So they hire what you just said, a video crew. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They don't realize they're shutting a practice down and losing $20,000 in revenue, $10,000 in revenue. If not done correctly, if you only got 3 videos out of that day. That's why I kind of make the joke about when we go in, and I might have already said this, but we had a client, they did our old way of doing it, loved it. It's a fun day. It is fun, don't get me wrong. You bring in lights, camera, into action. It is extremely intimidating. Most doctors are like,
I can see that.
Let's just get this over with.
Right.
I love that she said it. I interviewed her after we did the video shoot the other day. We shot 8 videos in 45 minutes.
Holy
man. 8 videos. I'm telling you, 8 videos in 45 minutes. And she got done and she said, that's it. She said, I'm ready to keep going. She said, this has been the most amazing experience. She said, you just don't know what it feels like. Of course, I do. But she said, you don't know what it feels like when you're trying to say something in a camera and you mess up and there's 4 people looking at you and you messed up, right? And so it's the new way we do it. She was like, it didn't matter. She was reading the teleprompter and she just kept going on. You know what? We'll just edit that little part out. We take a couple takes anyway, and we'll put the old part back in. She said that was the biggest stress reliever for her. And that video is actually coming out on our Facebook here in about a week or so.
Awesome.
Just because I was blown away by the process. And of course, just the sheer happiness. Because she was like, oh, my God, it's 11 o'clock. I can go home. And I'm like, yes, you can.
Okay. Now, all right. So I cut videos all the time. You cut videos all the time.
Killing it.
So, but when I look at this and I go 8 videos in 45 minutes, because I don't know that the people, if you're listening to this right now, you're going 8 videos, 45 minutes. I don't really have a reference for that. That's phenomenal. Right. 8 videos in 45 minutes. I cut videos 4 times a week, and it takes me 30 minutes to cut 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, that is phenomenal.
It's all about the pre-planning. It's about.
Okay. I'm trying to get you to this point because you're being modest. You are such an entrepreneur, and Hi5 is a creative agency, but Kevin Barnett is a creative guy. You saw the challenge that I'm throwing out there to you, and you not only created a better mousetrap, you invented a new mousetrap. And this is why everybody was rushing to your booth at the ADA. I'm walking around going, hey, what is it like? Like it must be Lady Gaga over there. There's a rock star.
We're giving away $100 gift cards. Giving them away.
That's not true. It's Kevin Barnett over there with what you call Olive. And so for everybody who doesn't even know what I'm talking about, this is the solution where you saw a need on a couple of different fronts. I've been trying to get you to do what you do on a national level.
Everybody has. Yes. First time we met, you said that.
And from then, and you saw that need. You didn't tell me you were already working on that solution at the time. But
I didn't know that it could be done, but
you had that cooking, and you invented a device specifically this is from a layperson's, and I'll let you talk. From a layperson's, this is why I get so excited about this. From a layperson's viewpoint, okay, if I'm a dentist, this invention of yours, number one, eliminates the situation where I've got to have 6 people with lights and cameras and all this other stuff, okay? It eliminates all of that. It eliminates the loss in revenue that you got to have to bring all those people in, right? It also allows you to support clients at a much higher level on a one-on-one basis, even though at the time you may be in Chicago and your client is in Arizona, right? So it's called Olive. This is the greatest invention that I've ever been exposed to, and to be able to say that I know the guy who invented it is pretty cool.
And you were on the front end. You knew about it before anybody else did.
Right. So Kevin, what is Olive? And break it down in layman's terms. So if I'm listening to this and I can understand how the concept of a 1-minute video, I know everything's going video. I know that from a retention standpoint, I need to be making more than one contact with my patients. And I understand that I need to be making contact on a whole bunch of different levels. I got all that. I do see the value. If I'm listening to this, I know that a video that's sent out to me is going to be much more likely that I'm going to open that and read that and pay attention to what that is, or listen to that or view that, than I would some kind of other contact in digital form. I got all that, but explain to the listeners all the things that Olive does and what it is and what it stands for.
All right. So Olive, on location, interactive video experience.
On location, interactive video experience.
I think it's very, very funny what you just said. You said, man, I love what y'all are doing. Why you're in Nashville? You got to go national. And I said, man, I can't go national. I can't go national because I can't scale my video skills, right? Not mine, my teams, but I have to find multiple people with the same skill level, with the same, ability to direct, the same ability to put together scripts, the same show up on time, do what they're supposed to do.
And plus, you guys know dentistry. You guys are in dentistry. You know the industry. You know the patient base. You know dentistry. I mean, you're not going to be able to get that from somebody who's outside the industry.
They literally just shot a concert yesterday, doing a bread truck commercial tomorrow, and then you're on Friday, right? I mean, that's what it is. Because what this industry has done is that you get on whatever site you're going to get on, you find a video, and you say, hey, I want to make a video. And they say, heck yeah, because they want to get paid. And they say, yeah, I can make a video. And they show up with a camera, and they interview you, and, and you make a video, and everybody's happy. Well, I looked at that that and said, man, there's got to be a better way. Because what I want is to kind of go back to what we were talking about. I want to make sure that we're actually saying what the patients want to hear. Are we giving the patient what they wanted? Did they answer any sort of kind of question at all? And then what I want to do is do that 8 to 10 to 20 times.
Right.
Because what I said earlier, you go to somebody's website, and you got 25 drop downs of services that they do that nobody understands, right? So what Olive was built is the scripting. We built a teleprompter directly into Olive, because if it's me, you and I can sit and cut up. We could cut up for 3 hours, right? I don't know where we would get at the end of that 3 hours. But I tell you, when my team puts together something for me in a script fashion, and I know that script is about 45 seconds long, and we really tweak it, now I'm able to get on, use Olive, get on, record. They'll direct me from we call it the command center. They will direct me. I will read the teleprompter, and I'm done. And I'll run through it a few times. But when you're talking about that takes 10 minutes versus, imagine if they came in here and they started asking me questions. Hey, now tell me about Hi5. I'd go, okay, well, let me think about this. And I got another thought. And then let me switch gears. Hold on. Did I say it right? All of those things happen on a video shoot. And that's why it takes so long. When you can put a concise message together.
But okay. So if I'm hearing this for the first time, you send me a packet, or you send me
a little bit bigger than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your head's a little wider.
Okay. But I've seen Olive.
Yeah.
I mean, Olive
is pretty small. Yeah.
But literally, if I'm listening to this and I want to, and I totally understand everything you're saying, then I can contact you. You send me Olive in this package. Okay. I pull it out. There it is. It's got lighting. It's got teleprompter screen. It's got camera. I hook it up. I'm talking to you guys on the other end. There's my teleprompter right there. I'm looking right into the camera, and literally, I'm talking to you guys. Y'all are telling me, dude, your hair's all messed up or whatever. You need to look, fix your hair, whatever like that, right? You guys are directing me.
Yeah. Just like we're doing now. We would just be talking back and forth.
It is
just like I'm talking to you.
So for somebody who's never experienced that, that is phenomenal. And for you to invent something like that, because as an entrepreneur, you saw a need. I'm blown away. I'm so impressed by it. Your creativity, my friend, is it's just, I am just so impressed and proud of what you got here. And for those people who are listening, I mean, you got to write this down. You know, everything's going video. You understand where the world is. It's all going online, right? Nobody's doing it. So you have the ability to send me this device. I put it in. I'm talking to you. You got the teleprompter right there. All I got to say is right there on the screen. It's got the light, camera, everything right there. One device. I do it, and I'm done. And I cannot tell you what a cool, easy, right, pain-free, stressful-free process that something like that is. Now, I understand that I got to talk to you. I got to figure out where I'm trying to go. I got to get, how many of these videos do I want to do? What am I trying to accomplish? And that's why I like the fact that you're in dentistry, right?
Yeah. So I think
I get really excited about this, man. I mean, you got me pumped up on this when I see what this has done. I mean, I have as you guys know, I have a lot of guests. If you're listening, you've heard me with the guests. And you've never heard me in this format because you never heard me this way, because I really get excited about Olive. This is, I think, earth-shattering. I think this is the greatest invention that since the sliced bread, man, and I can't say enough good things about it. I'm just really impressed with what you got going on.
Thank you.
Tell me, why would I, now that I'm all pumped up about Olive and I got all that out there, if I'm listening to this right now, and I am like, before I get on the video with you, I just got off the phone with the doctor. He's 65 years old. He's in Arizona. He reached out to us for some help. His biggest concern is just had this conversation. He's got 934 active patients. Okay. He's got one hygienist working 2 days a week. 934 active patients.
Wow.
Okay, 934 active patients. I did the math on it. Even if you take a few percentage out, he's got the ability to have hygiene, I think somewhere, I can't remember the number. I think it was 10 a day over a year. He's got a hygienist working 2 days a week. So retention is a massive issue. About 62 years old in Arizona. If he's listening to this, okay, why does he need to be contacting Kevin Barnett, Hi5, and using Olive?
He's eventually going to want to sell. And at the end of the day, we had a transition company. We met with a really, really phenomenal company the other day. And, one of the questions that I brought up is that how strong is their database? Well, how do we know that? Everybody says the database is X, but then, you go, oh, I've got 2,500 patients, but I'm only doing $50,000 a month. You're like, wait, hold up. Right. The database might be a little dirty, right? Let's get that cleaned up. And then let's keep that database strong. So when the next doctor comes in and says, well, tell me about your practice. Well, my practice is doing almost $1 million a year. And we have, this many people and this open rate. And this people refer. We get 30 referrals a month, from our internal database. Anytime somebody tells me something like that, that's like my dream client, because I'm like, oh my God, you're killing it on the inside. Let's just turn a couple knobs, really put some gasoline on that fire. And then you talk about growth. But yeah, I mean, for that specific, eventually he's going to want to sell. And what's going to happen is if he keeps, he's not going to get any more motivated to work. Let's start marketing. Let's start communicating to those people, because everybody knows him or that hygienist. They love that hygienist. Let that hygienist, let them to communicate with that database.
Everything you're saying is true. And I go a step further because I've seen what you do. Some of those videos can be, in this particular example, can be used for not simply retention, but for reinstating patients back into active status. And that's where he's got the biggest opportunity. He's got 934 patients. I didn't get to the bottom line info to take a deep enough dive to see how many patients he's actually seeing, but she's working a couple of days a week. There's holes on top of that. There's 10 patients for perio maintenance and all of that. So in terms of opportunity, it's I mean, good grief, probably, who knows, 600 patients that need to be in that practice at the very least 2 times a year.
Oh yeah.
Olive and the process that you're bringing to the table is a great way to have a conversation in an unconventional manner and reach patients that frankly you're not going to be able to reach in other ways.
Yeah.
That patient that you have called 5 times and you can't get a hold of them.
Well, because who answers the phone anymore? Everybody looks at it and says, I don't know that number.
Right. Right. But you can send a very well strategically thought out video that will be seen. That video will be seen. And I've seen some of your work. If I'm listening to this, I don't know what might be going through your mind. Like, this is not a boring video. I mean, you can have some fun with this stuff, man.
Yeah. Our number one video, what is it? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's so funny. We do treatment plan follow-up videos, post-op instruction videos, holiday videos. Those are phenomenal. Happy birthday video is the number one engaged. I was looking at someone's analytics the other day in Revenue Well, and it was so funny. Patient hadn't been in 4 years.
Wow.
And that patient, we tracked it back, and then he came in. He ended up doing, not only got his cleaning, but then 4 years, he needed quite a bit of work done. We traced it back to how he found the happy birthday video.
Wow.
They got a funny team going crazy, confetti flying, big deal. And it was a way to connect and engage. Now, nobody was selling anything. It was just, instead of getting the picture email, that's standard, that these retention softwares, this was a time that they took and made this killer video. It is our number one video. It's what people call us. I'm like, hey, you did my buddy's video, or you did this. And we're like, yeah, you better be sending, because what happens is that, to your very point, 900 people in the database, then you're going to want to look at averaging, 3 a day, 3 birthdays a day.
Right.
Okay. So 3 times a day, this video is going out, right? 3 times a day on average, sometimes 20, sometimes 1, but it's going out and touching people on a very special day when they get a lot of information. But when you get that from your dentist, then now you've created whole nother dynamic,
That's awesome, man. That's
funny.
the
I would have
number
never thought that was our biggest thing.
That's the number one.
That's the no, but I mean, I can try to make other stuff really cool. That's the one that everybody gets pumped up about shooting. Nobody wants to shoot video. Nobody wants to shoot video. When we do the happy birthday video, the team gets excited and everything else. But when it goes back to everything else, but it's, the happy birthday, because it's the chance for them to have fun. And then it comes out on video showing their same personality they use every day when people come in. And to your very point, you see them twice a year if you're lucky. But now you've had a chance to kind of continue, let them see your practice and not even be there. But then, like I said, be top of mind when they start having pain, or they're just like, I'm so sick of smiling at a party, and they just sent me this, whitening special, or this, mouth makeover, or one-day crown, whatever that is.
No, and that's, I think I saw a stat that's recently said that for you to be in contact with your patients, you're talking about at least 9 touches. At least 9 touches between visits.
Oh, without question. Yeah, I mean, you do have to think about, a lot of these automated systems, which we didn't even dive into, but a lot of the automated systems, they'll set up the marketing, but unfortunately,
you're talking about like a Revenue Well,
Solution Reach, those type. They're phenomenal systems, very, very underutilized.
Yeah.
People set it and forget it, and one thing that those companies have reached out with us, and we've partnered up with them, is that they love the personalization of those systems. Like I said, I kind of joked about the happy birthday. You can either send the little cupcake, with the candle on it and says happy birthday, or you can send them a hilarious video that they will share with their friends.
Yes.
See, think about it like that. Like, are they going to share the cupcake, or are they just going to think that was nice? Or are they going to share a funny happy birthday? Like, dude, my dentist did this. And they're like, my dentist doesn't even talk to me. You know? So this is why I said it's so important. I mean, you're literally, all this is happening in the background, you know, and you didn't even know. I mean, that's what's so funny when you look at these reports and you go, oh my God, people are coming in from this or this or this, you know. And so that's the beauty of the building the practice from the inside out. Everything is set up and running while the way it's supposed to be. While the doctor.
Okay, so tell me this, Kevin. I mean, you've been in a lot of different scenarios. Okay, what is the number one craziest thing that you've seen in a dental office that you were able to fix?
That we were able to fix. I tell you, it's sad. It's actually sad. They were using a software. They were marketing. They have a killer database. And one thing that we started doing on our end, since we're working from the inside out, we're only as strong as the database. We started realizing that the clients, the patients were getting X messages, but they weren't getting the other set of messages, like the recall, reactivation.
Okay.
Treatment plan follow-up. Treatment plan follow is a big deal if you can do it. And they weren't getting that information. We were able to go in, not only bring that to their attention and say, okay, hey, everything looks good, no reason to stress, but we've got a problem. Let's work with, this has happened several times, different softwares, but be able to work with that company and say, hey, you know, there's something not linking up here. We relink it. And now we have the power to reach out to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more patients that we needed. And so I don't know if that's
really
crazy.
good stuff.
I mean, I'm in marketing, so let's don't get it twisted. You know, I mean, there's only so many things I see. But to me, it was like, oh my God. It was like a bomb went off. I mean, It was like they are about to see such a massive difference that if nobody would have ever picked up on or noticed, they would have just kept doing it going, I don't know why it's not working, you know.
Sure.
But when something in the chain is broken, you know, and then we're able to fix that, oh my God, it makes everybody's life better.
So what I'm hearing you say that I need to take away from this, if you're listening, okay, and you're taking notes, then number one, I need to be thinking video across the board. Number two, I need to be thinking about video in untraditional, unconventional ways.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, and I wouldn't have thought about that. Treatment plan follow-up, boom. Reinstatement, boom. Welcome to our practice.
Welcome to the practice is huge.
That's a great one. Happy birthday. Confirmation videos you could do, right?
Yeah.
You could do all of that. And with an olive, you cut the process in half. You eliminate so much of the heartache that's involved in it. I love what you guys are doing, man. Tell me this. If I'm a young dentist, and we have some young dentists who listen to this, you know, I'm just about to venture out into my new career path. As the marketing guru at Hi5 and everything that you've learned, what would you tell me are 3 things that I need to be focused on right off the bat?
Well, if you're new and you didn't buy a practice with a database, buy a practice with a database. That would be amazing. But,
make sure there's value in the database, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, make sure it's not just 9,000 people and 100 emails, because what are you going to do with 9,000 people you can't contact? So, but definitely make sure that you kind of do some due diligence on that. But as a new practice, man, don't sit. It's funny. What do you always hear? Sit and wait. Oh, I'm going to watch that. Man, don't sit and watch your practice not grow, because you're just, well, I open my doors, the people are going to flood in. No, they're not, man. Be in the chambers, be, networking, doing whatever you got to do to shake some hands and kiss some babies, because people don't know who you are. And again, I'm sorry, but they don't want to go to the dentist. Even if they do, they're only going twice a year if you're very, very, very lucky. All they got to do is blow off one appointment, and it'll be a year and a half before they ever come back.
That's true.
But yeah, I think one is just get out there. If you're going to open up a practice, be passionate about that. And because somebody else is. I mean, I kind of think I wrote that in your form, which, by the way, I love that. I thought that was really nice. And Number two is that, yeah, take the time to get to know those patients. I mean, again, this is a patient experience is what we're always talking about, the patient experience. You want them to come in and then you want them to come back. Well, then give them a reason to come back. Smile. Make sure that, like I said, you just asking a question, just say, hey, how you doing? I am, introduce yourself, those type of things. Make it memorable. So, yeah, they're ready to come back. And then three, yeah, get on board. Definitely start doing video. Do not be afraid. It is the most intimidating thing. I'm telling you, from the inventor of olive, I'm probably the reason it happened, because I cannot stand, so intimidated. What you do blows my mind. Get on there, you throw the camera on, it's wild, right? But it is so intimidating to me, and that was why a lot of the things that, we created, I was like, I don't want a bunch of people standing around. Like, anytime we used to do video for me, I'd make my staff leave the room. I was like, man, I can't even get it. Now I don't even care, because I'm so zoned in. There were two of them standing here a while ago when we were doing it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely educate your patients. Be social. My gosh, be social.
I'd say everything you said is true. And I saw a quote the other day that really struck me, and it said something like, "For every day that you wait, somebody else and somebody else and somebody else has already taken action."
Yeah.
And if they want it worse than you do, you're going to still be standing there looking at it.
Oh, I can't agree. And then you'll regret it for the rest of your life.
Kevin Barnett, entrepreneur, inventor, creative genius with Hi5 Practice.
Well, thank you.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being on the show. I appreciate all the good wisdom that you imparted. And if somebody's listening and they want to contact you, we've got hi5practice.com. Is that where they need to go?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The best thing about our website is that when we built it with the end user in mind. What do they want to see? They know they've either been referred to us or found us somewhere. We wanted to show examples. We encourage people to go on our website, look at our examples, watch the videos, kind of get a feel for yourself, like a picture, you standing there saying something along those lines,
And the main thing is, you've got to go into video. You've just got to go into video. You can't wait another day. You've got to go into video. This is the way you make constant contact with your patients. This is the content delivery method that people are consuming now, and that's just the way it is.
But haven't you and I have talked about, with your just years of knowledge, we've been to dinner and talked about, I'm like, man, oh my gosh, you've got to do the videos. I mean, I pushed you very, very hard.
You pushed me very hard. And I'm probably doing this because of some of the things that you said as well. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, because I said, everything you say to me is just gold, right? I'm over just like, man, that totally makes sense. People need to hear that. That's literally what would go through my brain. Oh my God, people need to hear that. Well, how are they going to hear? They're only going to hear from a seminar, or, if you're traveling, or one-off, right? Well, it's the same thing with a dentist. Dentist says this all day long, the same thing, repeat. And so I'm like, if you're saying it already, say it to a bigger crowd, so now you're being able to answer these things and go, oh yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. I needed to know that, or I was always wondering that, or so.
It's all about scalability. Yeah. Kevin Barnett, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate very much you being on the show. And you got to do video. You got to be able to scale it. You got to be able to deliver the content in a way that consumers are consuming it. This is the answer. Hi5 Practice. Kevin Barnett, inventor, creative genius, and entrepreneur extraordinaire. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Good chatting with you.
Come see us next week. This has been Dental Profits. It's all about the business of your business. We want you to have happier clients, better results, make more money, and enjoy the ride. I'm Sean Crabtree. I'll see you next week.